Hey friends, what up? I know that we are a third of the way through 2023, but I wanted to go back and revisit 2022 because something rather auspicious happened, and I made a long-time personal financial goal by eclipsing my income back when I was working in the nonprofit sphere with my income now as a flow artist, which I think is pretty cool. Drex here from Drex Factor Poi, sharing with you the love of poi spinning and flow arts to benefit your body and brain. And today I'm talking a little bit about the finances of flow, and specifically my own. But before we dive in, I want to give a quick shout out to the friends of the channel. Big thanks to Dark Monk, Fire Mecca, Flow Fests, Flow Toys, Juggling Calling, Pyroterra Light Toys, Spinballs, and Ultrapoi for helping to make the videos on this channel possible. You can learn more about all of these awesome companies and the work that they're doing to support flow artists like yourself by checking out the links that I have down in the description of this video. And special thanks to the non-business friends of the channel, Lain Mochinsky and Pekha Pekkonen. Thank you both so much for supporting my channel, my work, and my mission. So some of you know this, not all of you do, but just to state it for the record, being a flow artist is my full-time job. I should say it's really more than my full-time job because I very rarely work only 40 hours a week doing it. But that has also come with it some interesting financial pressures because, of course, there isn't an industry built around flow arts the same way there is around, say, like sports or music. So finding a way to make a living doing it can be kind of a challenge. I left traditional employment roughly a decade ago, and at the time, it really was questionable whether I was going to be able to make a livable income doing flow arts. When I left, I honestly thought that for the most part, I was going to be making a living as a freelancer, specifically programming and web design gigs, and that would subsidize my work in flow. I've experimented with a number of different income models over the years, but finally found something that balanced out both my desire to create content as well as my need to have an income that would keep a roof over my head through all of this. And I think I can happily say I've found a lot of answers to that question. And in the year 2022, I pulled in $48,000 for the year as a full-time flow artist, which is kind of awesome, A, because that's actually more money than I was making back in the nonprofit sphere when I had a traditional job, and also because, well, it puts me above the median income in my area for the first time ever as a flow artist. So I must say I'm pretty proud of that, and I want to share with y'all how I did it, where exactly all my different sources of income were coming from to add up to that whole. All right, so I'm gonna list off sources of income here, going from the smallest percentage to the greatest percentage of my income for last year. Starting off at 2.3K is affiliate income. Basically, every time I give you one of those codes in one of my performance videos to go use to get a discount on your order, that is income that comes straight to me as basically a commission on the sale for having done the recommendation, right? This is a lower number than affiliate sales were last year. For some reason, affiliate marketing seems to be declining somewhat, and I've seen that trend continue this year as well. But yeah, it was still a not unsizable amount of income. I mean, that was basically 2 months worth of rent for me, so I'm not gonna turn it down, right? Coming in at just over 5.5K are course sales. Now, I've long offered passive courses through my learning site at learn.drexfactor.com. Basically think of it as like a structured series of tutorials rather than just the one-off tutorials I do on my channel. Those have been a dependable, albeit meager, source of interest for me for many years now. What really changed here was I started offering live stream courses. That is, people could sign up to come learn from me by live streaming every Tuesday night. And that was a runaway success in 2022. Probably the biggest boost in any one source of income that I had last year. And a big part of what pushed me to the final number for the year. Next up at 7.2K is ad revenue. This takes two forms. One of these is AdSense revenue from YouTube. That is, if you've watched any of my YouTube videos and you get a pre-roll ad, having watched that, I get a portion of the money that the company is paying YouTube to show the ad, which is great. Also, for the first time, I qualified for Reels bonuses over on Instagram. So Facebook, having seen that people were getting paid on TikTok, decided to do the same thing over on Instagram and I signed up for their Reels bonus program. That wound up being like $100 or $200 a month. It wasn't that much, but hey, every little bit helps, right? Next up, coming in at an even $9,000 of income for 2022 are sponsorships. Sponsorships are when a company pays me to feature their product in one or more of my videos. Sometimes this will take the form of a tutorial or instructional video, or sometimes it'll take the form of a company paying me to use their poi in a flow video. If you've seen any of my flow videos that are more formally shot around DC featuring flow toys, Ultrapoi, or Fire Mecha Poi, those are all sponsored videos, and legally I am required to disclose that, so it's pretty easy to tell when that's the case. 9,000 is definitely a new high for that, and that came about as a result of working with multiple companies on multiple projects, and I think I can actually do better than that in 2023, so we'll see. And finally, coming in at roughly $23,600 for 2022 is Patreon. Now, this is the first year that I've reported my income that Patreon has fallen below 50% of my income. Now, this doesn't mean I was making less money on Patreon. In fact, I made more money on Patreon in 2022 than I did in 2021. But it has been a long-standing goal of mine to get Patreon under 50% of my income, specifically because I want to kind of hedge my bets. There's a lot of risk in having just one income stream be responsible for like that huge a portion of your income. I wanted to make sure that if anything should happen, that if Patreon should change their terms of use or what have you, that I would still be able to make rent and be able to feed myself. And as of last year, that goal became realized. Huzzah. I do want to emphasize how important it was for me to come up with multiple diverse streams of income in order to make the number that I did last year. It wasn't just having subscriptions through Patreon. It wasn't just having a portion of physical prop sales. It wasn't just offering more educational materials. It was all of these things put together. It was finding ways to offer products that would appeal to a lot of different types of people in order to get the total income to that level. And I will also say, I have now been reporting my income to you all for a few years, and y'all have been able to see how my income has grown, I think, to nearly double what it was when I first started doing these videos. And that's been both a blessing and a curse, because I think that knowing how much I'm making can give other people out there a rough idea of what potentially they could make as a professional flow artist. At the same time, I had kind of hoped that by sharing my numbers, it would encourage more people in the community that are also full-time flow artists to be more transparent about sharing their numbers. And it's been kind of disappointing that that hasn't happened. I've had a few of them reach out to me privately and tell me that they're happy to share their numbers, but only with me. And I hate to say it, but turning it into kind of a dick measuring contest was kind of counter to the spirit of the thing. I wanted people to understand that there are a variety of ways to make a living in the flow arts and what potentially their income could look like doing that. So I think I'm going to say that as of this video right here, I'm kind of done with this experiment. I've gotten to a number that I feel really happy with, and based upon where my income looks like it is paced at for 2023, I'm going to make more money this year than I did last year. But being transparent with my numbers really hasn't had the impact that I hoped it would in the community. So I think that in future years, I'm just not going to publish it, I'm afraid. So if you are watching this many, many years in advance, just know that, yeah, potentially you could make close to 50 grand as a flow artist in a given year too. You can follow the same steps I did and use the same income streams that I did, and it's possible. There's also a variety of other options out there too. And with that, dear friends, I'm going to get back to focusing on making 2023 a really beautiful year. And I hope that you all do the same. Did you get anything out of this video? Please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to help other people find it, to keep the conversation going, and to help my channel grow. This video would not be possible were it not for the kind support of all of these lovely people right here. These are my Flow patrons over on Patreon. They and the people listed down in the description help to make this video and all the videos on this channel possible. Thank you one and all for your very generous support. And if you out there watching are not currently a supporter, but you would like to become one, you can do that by heading on over to patreon.com/DrexFactorPoi. There you can get access to a whole host of awesome rewards, and even better than that, you'll be helping me out in my mission of bringing poi spinning and flow arts to the whole wide world. So go check that out, please and thank you. If you'd like to check out some of my other videos on the business of flow arts, including my numbers for past years and how I achieve them, I will go ahead and leave a link to a playlist of those videos down in the description, as well as up here on screen if you're watching on YouTube. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, this top video right here is one that the YouTube algorithm recommends based upon your past viewing habits, so maybe check that out as well. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to get outside to flow today, and I'll see you in the new video real soon. Peace.